The battle for Venthar Prime is the next stage of our Gharadon Reach campaign. On the sector map, you can see that while the scouting missions in the Kalis system were very successful for the Eldar, the Imperium has been slow to mobilise its defence of the Reach. The traitor forces massing at Spindle Null are poised to strike, and Venthar offers the richest prize, a hive world of 16 billion souls to swell the ranks of the Chaos Army. We are going to use the Net Epic Gold rules to fight this battle, using a Planetary Defence Force and a Marine list for the defenders, and the Adeptus Mechanicus, Imperial Guard and Space Marine lists for the attacking traitor force. We have given the attackers an advantage in points, representing their commitment and preparation for the assault. The Imperium dispatched only a small force of Astartes, the sons of Ragnar, to reinforce the Planetary Defence Force. With such meagre forces available, Venthar was always going to struggle to hold. The Farseers of Craftworld Elatok foresaw this, and when the Slaneshi host moved to attack, the Eldar fleet rushed to their aid. But the Dark Powers anticipated this, and a Chaos Blood Fleet was sent to intercept them. Using the Void Admiral rules and the Line Breaker scenario, the Eldar tore through the Chaos defence platforms in their opening volley. But their cruiser, Beacon of Aringir, was caught and destroyed in a vicious counterattack. Despite this loss, the rest of the Elatok fleet pressed on, destroying Chaos escorts, crippling the Cutting Dread and forcing the Venom of Tears to withdraw. It was a resounding Eldar victory, but at the cost of their first capital ship of the campaign. There was another knock-on cost that this victory caused. Crucially, the battle slowed their advance, delaying them until turn 6 of the coming planetary engagement on Venthar Prime, and effectively ruling them out of most of the forthcoming battle. If only they had bypassed the damaged Chaos ships and immediately sped to the defence of Venthar, things might have been different. So the battle is set on Venthar Prime, and this is representing the city of Virelia. What we've done is we've deployed as a PDF force. We've got trenches and fortifications, strongholds, and then we've got some additional ones further forward which we're allowed to do because we're a Planetary Defence Force. We've placed 8 objectives. 4 of them are within my deployment zone. The other 4 are on the table, and the outcome of the battle will be dictated by who holds the most objectives at the end of the battle. We're aiming to play 6 turns. On turn 3, the main force of Emperor's Children, which are just down here, will be joining the battle, along with 3 or 4 Reaver Titans. On turn 4, a detachment, well, it's actually 3 companies of Ragnar's Sons of Ragnar Space Marines will be joining the battle. And then on turn 6, the Eldar are going to arrive to save the day. So they'll only be here for 1 turn. So it remains to be seen what significance they can have. The Emperor's Children will join the table from the long table edge at the back. The Sons of Ragnar will join from this table edge, and the Eldar from Craftworld Elatok will come on from the short edges, and it will be up to me to decide which short edge we want to join on. This represents their ability to see into the future and affect the outcome of the battle. Let's look at how many points we're playing today. I've got 12,000 points of Planetary Defence Forces, and that includes their 3 extra trench systems. So I've paid for a lot of minefields. I've got 3,000 points of Space Marines joining later on, And then I've taken 1 company card only of Eldar, 5 support cards and a special card. We don't know how many points that is. That's going to be a surprise for later.
Okay, so I've got 10,000 points of Emperor's Children. I have 6,000 points of Titan Legions, and that's 2 Warlords, 4 Warhounds, 3 Reavers, and an Imperator Titan. And I have 8,000 points of Imperial Guard.
So what have you got on the table right now?
I have I have all of the Guard, okay, is committed to the table, and I have all of the Titans bar the maniple of Reavers.
And what's coming on what turn?
So on turn 3, the rest of my force is coming on. So that's 3 Reaver Titans and 10,000 points of Space Marines.
So with that, we're going to roll initiative and do the first turn. Unfortunately, we lost the footage of the opening 2 turns of the battle. But here's a quick summary before we pick up with turn 3. On turn 1, the traitors rolled initiative and immediately opened fire with their Imperator Titan. Its extreme range weapons systematically destroyed 2 of the defending in place Titan-class turrets before they even had a chance to fire, including one armed with a Vortex missile. It was a devastating loss for the defenders. But their first shot back struck back hard. The warp missile turret survived the opening barrage, and its single payload obliterated the Imperator Titan outright. The traitor forces were stunned, but pressed on regardless. Over the next 2 turns, the traitor guard advanced on the outer redoubts held by the planetary militia, gradually overwhelming them. And by the end of turn 2, the defenders had lost 5 of their 6 Titan-class emplacements. But the traitor guard's advance was faltering, leaving the battle hanging in the balance. And it was at that moment, at the start of turn 3, that the Emperor's Children arrived on the field. And that's where we'll pick up the narrative.
So I've just deployed 10,000 points of Emperor's Children onto the board at the beginning of turn 3. Most of the army is laid out on this table edge, but 2 companies have teleported in on the far side, and that's an assault company and a Terminator company.
And it looks like some of the Terminators just missed with their teleports, is that right?
They did, just outside of the defense line, but we've probably got enough troops inside the defense line to make a meal of it and cause consternation. Over here we've got Land Raiders, Thunderhawk gunships, we've got land speeders and bikes. We've got a bike company over here, although they're jet bikes, they're bikes in this game. And then we've got more Land Raiders, more Rhinos. So a bit of a parking lot. Let's see how we get on in turn 3.
So it's the start of turn 4, and we're really getting to the nub of it. The sons of Ragnar have just arrived. Some of them teleported in. Rather than try and contest some of the objectives in the centre of the field, they've decided to try and shore up this flank, which has been assaulted by the Terminator company of the Emperor's Children and their assault team. The bike company's coming in here with land speeder support. I think this turn might decide who wins the battle. Well, the battle's over. It looks like the traitors have just scraped a victory. You see, there were 4 objectives in the centre of the table, down the centre here. So 1, 2, cathedral, and then this other building here. And they've taken all of those. The other 4 objectives, because of the scenario, were on this side. And basically this one here is contested. So no one has this one. And the Marines and the Planetary Defence Force have got 1, 2, 3 here. So that's not enough. That's 3 versus 4. So I declare a victory for the traitors. In this scenario, we did have an Eldar relief force that was potentially going to arrive and save the day. But in this case, it's going to arrive too late to make any difference to the close hand-to-hand fighting that's happening here. There's no way they're going to be able to, in a single turn, change the fate of this objective marker here. There's no way they're going to dislodge those Terminators. And likewise, there's so many troops over here, and they've got the wrong type of forces to take the objectives. There's no way they'll be able to do it. Before we talk about the outcome, just wanted to show you around the War Games room, show you how we've got this set up. Quite often I'd have lovely curtains up and we'd do all these dramatic shots, but it is a practical gaming space and we decided not to put the curtains up this time. We want to show you what we're doing. So over here is where the traitor army was marshalled. So on this side here, this is where the traitor army came onto the board. So it made sense to have all of this here. And we're going to let Richard run you through what's on there shortly, because there's a few things that came off the table that are there now. We'll do that in the battle report. Over here, we've got a little bit of shelf space, and in this box are the Titans and the Knights. So then if you want to bring the camera down here, let's just have a look. So we tend to use this space here to keep things like extra models. We've got the craters, we've got our smoke markers in here as well. So we've got everything to hand. So having these little shelves around the edge is really useful.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Just tell me what this crater is.
That was at the start of the game on turn 1, the big Imperial Titan. What's it called again?
An Imperator.
An Imperator Titan, that's right. And it's my understanding you got initiative on turn 1.
I did.
Yeah, so you got the first shot off.
I did.
I got the second shot off. What happened?
Warp missile.
Oh dear. So
Carry on.
to keep the game running smoothly, we like to try and put some of the rules up, printed out nice and big on the wall. So what we did was we put the turn sequence up here. It means that as we're running through the game, it just makes it easy to refer to what we need to do next, because each section of that turn sequence is quite involved. You know, there's like maybe 8 or 9 things you've got to do, so you don't want to forget them. If you get them out of turn, it doesn't matter because we're all friends here, but it's just better if you play the game according to that turn sequence. So over here is where I was marshalling the army for the Loyalist force, and this is where I've moved all my casualties and expended items. So they're all over here. So if we come down this end, we've got a bit more space down here. We've got the Space Marine army ready to go here. And then on the desk over here, this is where we marshaled all our dice and our counters, just to make sure we could find everything really quickly. Because when you're playing a big game like this, you want to be able to move fast with each particular function. So we had all our orders in these trays. They were nice and easy to grab. We had all our barrage markers laid out. Dice were ready to go, sorted in trays, and then we used the portable dice rolling tray, and we took that wherever we needed to on the field as we were playing the game. And by doing this, you can see we got the Titan readout here. So we had all our Titan things here. You'll note the Imperator Titan readout sheet's been put away. After turn 1, there was no need for it anymore, so just cleared a bit more space because it's a very big chart. Okay, let's talk about the battle.
this game has been really interesting to play because I don't think we've ever had so much city terrain to play around, and it immediately made my Titans a little bit impotent at places.
I mean, that warlord never really got going, did it?
No.
It was always trying to decide whether it was going to smash the buildings up or try and open up on the opponents, and it couldn't. You never quite decided which way to go. I mean, imagine if I'd had Titans.
Exactly. And I think part of that's deployment. Is that I should have deployed maybe the Titans all as one battle group on one flank.
Okay.
And maybe down the far end
where you had a bit more space.
Where I had a bit more space to move. But knowing that the key objectives, well, I know they were spread across the battlefield, but I think I wanted to try and spread that deployment to try and create an even field of fire to try and take you down. That was my initial thought. And then when the Space Marines came on, they would then seize critical objectives. Wasn't worried about taking objectives in certainly the first 3 turns. And obviously that's when the Space Marines arrived, the Emperor's Children arrived.
It was turn 3, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I just didn't have enough air power.
Okay.
I think that whilst I had it, I threw some of it away very quickly because I didn't appreciate how good tarantulas are. And
how good Thunderbolt fighters are.
Yeah.
So my challenge with the air power was this. Because I had a Planetary Defence Force, I was very limited to the aircraft I could take. It was limited to 1. Thunderbolt fighters. All I could take. So I realized that to make this work, to make this effective, and to try and really defend this side of the table, I needed to take a lot. So I took 7 support cards of Thunderbolt fighters. And I truly believe at the end of this turn, I'm starting to gain air superiority on this table. However, having said that, I don't think it's going to make much difference to the outcome of the game.
No.
Yeah. So air superiority is important, but it doesn't necessarily win you the game if you've got enough AA fire. You were just talking about those tarantulas. Cheap.
You see,
devastating.
They're fixed in placement. So for defending for garrisons, they're ideal. I've got sort of Rhino variant Hunter AAs, or I've got the Hydra flak guns.
That's right.
And they are pretty good at what they're doing.
I looked for Hydra AA guns for the Planetary Defence Force. Not available.
Not available.
No.
But
I don't have any of the best stuff.
No, but the tarantulas, you don't need them because you've got fast installation. So you've got them all dotted down the battle line. And I think the other thing that really threw me is the volume of minefields.
Okay.
So talk to me about the minefields.
So I decided that the only way to effectively stop you rushing me was to put a lot of entrenchments, a lot of minefields down. What I realized, and I've hardly ever played any kind of Imperial Guard army. I just know how brittle they can be, but I know that you get a lot of them. So a couple of things which were really interesting. As a Planetary Defence Force, you get to set the terrain if you want to. Okay. Although if you do that, you've got to then deploy your entire army, and the other person can see exactly how you're deployed. But as that Planetary Defence Force, you get a certain amount of entrenchments with every single company card. So I think I had something like 12 lots of entrenchment. Well, put it like this. It came out as 4.5 meters of trench. Okay. It's something like 4.5 meters. So what you'll see is I've almost got double lines in places, you know. And then what you're also allowed to do is you're allowed to put a detachment forward into a trench if you put them forward. I'm not allowed to put it in your deployment zone.
No.
But some of the trenches are you know, right here, right far forward. And I think at the start of the game, they really foxed you because you were really desperate to get rid of the forces that were in those trenches, even though those forces were militia and they only had las guns. They couldn't actually do anything to any of your armored vehicles.
No.
And that was all that was coming at them. And yet it held you up.
So another thing
and
there,
it nearly worked.
Another thing there is choice. So I had tactical companies. Like in here,
Yes.
I've got a tactical.
So what is in here? Let's just.
In there is a Chimera.
So this is a
Capital Imperialist.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one of
the
the
trundles forward.
Trundles forward. So it can take 2 companies. Okay. So in there I had 1 tactical company. What I should have put in there was a assault company.
So a tactical company of
Imperial Guard.
Oh, okay.
So what I should have done is put when I was choosing my army, because I also governed it about what I actually had
in terms of
miniatures.
Yeah.
But what I should have said is they're not tactical; they are assault. And I should have put assault company in there, and I should have put assault company in the mobile, the
Chimera,
mechanized company. The mechanized company.
Yeah.
If I'd done that, I reckon I would have taken that redoubt.
Yes.
Because
much more effective.
I was losing a couple of them by a single point.
So what was interesting, and I hadn't realised this until maybe a day or two before the game, that the entrenchments give you a close assault bonus, which is incredible.
+2, isn't it?
+2, yeah, if you're in a trench.
And if you're a militia, that's +1. So
yeah, well, because you're on a -1 to start with, so that's a great start. And then what also was really effective with the entrenchments was the minus to hit, because they work slightly differently to buildings.
Yeah,
they're really, really, really effective at protecting the troops from barrages. Normally, with a barrage, you don't get the benefit of cover.
Yeah.
But under the rule set we were playing, because you're in a trench, you get the benefit of the entrenchment cover. So it's a -2 to hit.
Yeah.
So if you're doing 6 barrage points, you're hitting on a 4, yeah? No, you're not. You're hitting on a 6. All of a sudden, it's making it very difficult.
And again, in those instances, I needed to have those types of artillery, like the Griffin. Griffin ignores cover. So it's about, but they're not knowing what is going to be set. But now, for future siege games, I might say, well, those basilisks, they're not basilisks, they're Griffins or whatever. Or go to my.
Or is it a Gorgon?
The Gorgon is
something different.
That's an infantry carrier. That again, that's a big APC that will carry troops in it. So you can take detachments into battle, and it's got pretty solid armor. I think it's like a 1 or a 2+ save. Now for Imperial Guard, armor wise, that's really good, because that's almost like Marine standard things. But then it doesn't have the las cannons, I don't think. I think it's more of a just get the troops into battle, gorge them, off they go and fight.
So when we originally set the battle up, it's part of our campaign. So we're calling the campaign Gharadon Reach. And I've set a website up on World Anvil, and basically you can see our sector map, and you can see where the worlds were. You can see where this world was. This was quite close to the Chaos, if you like, headquarters, which are on Spindle Null, a world called, or a star called Spindle Null. Now, when we played this game, we didn't choose like fair sides, did we?
No.
So I think, did you have, let me see if I got this right. You had 10,000 points of Emperor's Children Space Marines.
Yes.
And you had 10,000 points of Imperial Guard?
No, I had 8,000.
8,000 points of Imperial Guard.
And 6,000 points of Titans.
Okay. So what was that? A total of 24,000 points. Okay. So I had to start the game 12,000 points of Planetary Defence Force.
Yeah.
That's a slightly different list to the normal Imperial Guard list. Obviously, it gave me those bonuses with the fortifications, but
You're
a lot more limited in the range of equipment you could choose.
Yeah.
No, what do you call it? Self-propelled artillery.
No.
All my earth shapers were
place.
fixed in place. So the idea was that I would be reinforced on turn 4 by the intervention of some Space Marines.
Yes.
Okay, so that was 3,000 points of Space Marines. That was a essentially a Terminator company, a battle company, and a bike company.
Right.
So I put my Terminators in right into the thick of it. I tried to drop my battle company where I thought they would where they would benefit, and then the bikes have tried to surge forward to take an objective, and I can see right now that that's not going to work. Now the idea was we would fight this through to 6 turns.
Yes.
Okay, and what's great about the games we're playing right now is we're playing Starfleet battles at the same time.
That's right.
And they're being fought remotely for us, and we're being given the outcomes. So the idea was that this game would be augmented, reinforced. The Royalists would be reinforced by an Eldar host.
Yes.
However, because they failed in their Starfleet battle to get here in time, they weren't going to turn up till turn 6.
Yeah.
And I think the narrative would follow that they've seen where we've got to on turn 4, and they've got no chance.
No.
The force is available.
So they wouldn't commit.
So I had 1 company card of Eldar, 5 support cards, and a special.
Yeah.
And what I actually chose was 3 Eldar Titans, because I wasn't taking any Titans. I chose 5 support cards of Phoenix bombers.
Yeah.
And my special card was a Harlequin troop.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I realised at the end of this turn 4, where you see the game now, that they weren't going to be able to essentially do anything about these objectives.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have landed on the objectives possibly. Okay, and contested them, but I don't feel that the narrative was really fair. And in actual fact, if you're moving in from the table edge, I don't know even if I could have landed on them effectively. I'd probably needed 2 turns to do that. The Titans wouldn't have reached anything. Certainly, I don't think I'd have reached enough objectives quickly enough to do it. So,
and I think let's just say if they'd come in on this side, these 2 Titans have got chainswords.
Yeah.
You know, they've got power claws, inferno guns, other things. You've got this one. So you'd have had the Warlord would have just marched down the road.
Well, it wouldn't have reached it.
Wouldn't have reached it,
essentially,
because these would have engaged in close assault.
Yep.
And that would have given them a run for their money, I think. And then obviously multiple attacks of las cannons.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, there's what 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 10 land raiders there.
Yeah, there's 20 shots.
And
plus you look, and 2 volcano cannon there.
Correct. Yeah.
So you know, it's just weight of numbers, weight of firepower. Even these guys coming with multi-melters.
Wouldn't have done it. Yeah. And if you look at the other end of the table, it's a similar story. There's a whole bike company down there, another host of land raiders, plus an entire Space Marine company, and some Predators are still left down there.
Yeah.
So I just don't see, and you've got support from the other Reaver. There's no way we would have done it.
No.
So it was very imbalanced in terms of a game. Yeah. But it made the game a good challenge for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed playing it.
Well, it was a challenge for me as well, because I think one of the things that I've always been quite, I've tried to be aggressive with Space Marines, and it's never worked. Certainly not against playing you. But with the Guard, I had to strike a balance between first fire.
So you said Guard. Why are you saying Guard?
Imperial Guard.
Did you start the game? So you started the game, I think we should explain.
Yeah.
You started the game, the first 2 turns,
with only the rebel Imperial Guard forces. So I only had 8,000 points arrayed against your 12.
Yeah.
Okay,
Plus the Titans.
plus the Titans.
Some of the Titans.
Yeah. So I had the Imperator, 2 Warlords, and 4 Warhounds. And he managed to dispatch all of the Warhounds bar 1.
Yep.
And I think initially it was about taking the big guns, taking your big guns out, and I managed to do that in 2 turns. I wish I'd.
So let me talk about my strongholds.
Yeah.
So as well as the minefields and the trenches, I realised that the only way I was going to survive against these Titans was to take strongholds. And on a stronghold, you can take a Titan weapon on the roof, and you pay for I think it's 100 points for the stronghold, but then you pay for the Titan weapon.
Yeah.
And I chose a warp missile, 2 vortex, a plasma annihilator. Sorry, is it 2 plasma annihilators?
No, 2 plasma destructor.
2 plasma destructors and
The annihilators in the box when
Yeah.
you destroyed the Imperator.
So the plasma destructor and the quake cannon.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think out of all of those weapons, 2 of them didn't even get a shot off.
No.
2 of them did not even get a shot off.
Yeah.
So I managed to get a vortex missile and took out that warlord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I managed to shoot the Imperator Titan with a warp missile.
Yeah, that was a warp and that was the vortex.
That's right.
Yeah.
And aside from that, the strongholds were relatively ineffective.
Yeah.
All they did was draw your fire.
But they look good.
Yeah. But I have to say, that took your breath away when that Imperator went.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting that.
Well, that was going to be an anchor point on this flank. Because I was bringing stuff down. And that was the thing. It was this slow advance. And I think my mindset, if I was playing the game again, I would charge on turn 1.
Sure.
With as much as possible.
And so you had your 8,000 points.
Yeah.
Plus, must have been, I would say 4,000 at least of your 6,000 points of Titans.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, I would have thought on that first turn you would have
even 5,000. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have tried to have gone a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But then when the Marines arrived, that was a game changer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was feeling pretty confident up to the end of turn 2.
Yeah.
And then when you teleported right into that objective, I was like, well, looks like the game's up. If I can't dislodge them by the end of turn 4, and you're still outnumbering me in terms of Marines versus Marines.
Yeah. I've got an assault company in there and a Terminator.
That's right, and the assault company is actually right in that building now. Look,
right.
You see, they've gone right into the building rather than trying to shoot, which is what they were doing originally.
Yes.
They've gone into that building. They've pretty much taken it.
Yeah.
These guys took out. These guys here took out the artillery that was down here.
Yeah.
They're about to take the rest of the artillery out. The artillery pieces are they don't work in close combat at all. So they're all going pretty soon.
I mean, the veterans that I had in 2 Thunderhawks that can't be seen because they got destroyed.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of them was to act as a diversion, but because they're veterans, then they'd stand a good chance of
clearing
that flank.
So we need to probably wind this up.
Yep.
But let's talk about this combined arms aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
You said that they got taken out.
Yeah.
So what happened was you'd brought your company on, or your detachments on, using some Thunderhawk gunships.
Yeah.
But what you hadn't bargained on was the amount of air power I still had within charge range.
Yes.
So before they had a chance to land, I swooped on them.
Yep.
And I actually took out both Thunderhawks.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's something that's new to us because we haven't played games with such significant amounts of air power in the past.
No.
But it's changing. You mentioned it's changing your mind on the way you might bring Marines to the gaming table in the future.
So Net Epic Gold was like an offshoot of Space Marine.
Well, it was a development, wasn't it? You know,
Of that original game, and Peter Ramos has now devised with some others Imperial Dominatus, which is an update. They use a D10.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they set the game in the Horus Heresy. It was their own version of playing large games, small miniatures, and that obviously with the advent of all the different ship types, you know, spacecraft, or sort of void
Aeronautica, Imperialis, all of these, all of these things.
So whilst
they've included all of that.
Yeah. So whilst there's a lot of heavy armor that the Space Marines have access to, which I know that maybe that's a discussion for another day. They're also, you know, Raptor gunships, Storm Eagles, Thunderhawk gunships, and the whole point of it is that you can put entire companies in Thunderhawks and fly them in. So if you've got enough Thunderhawks and enough Raptors, the Raptors act as your fire support. You've got Xiphon interceptors. You've still got the Thunderbolts as well. So all of a sudden, if I was doing this battle again, I would have a lot more tanks on the guard side.
But your infantry would be flying in.
And it would be literally
missing the minefields.
Yeah,
getting to the objectives.
And within an area, and every company would have 2 wings of Xiphon interceptors or whatever, or Thunderbolts, to support the Thunderhawks or Storm.
Because that's what happened there. You didn't have enough air support.
That's right.
And by the time you were in, you were gone.
Yeah.
You know, just before you could land.
Absolutely.
So what an interesting development it's going to be if we
I'd say it's an arms race.
Yeah.
So
well, it's an arms race in a sense, I suppose, but it's also it's all about the strategy up here.
Yeah.
You know, the way you play.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been so used to playing things like this on the ground
and on smaller tables, just with tanks.
Yes. Yeah. I think one of the big wins of this game is the Tarantula. It's worth its weight in
that
gold.
Insignificant little.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Insignificant little automated gun.
Yep. I'm gonna get me some of them.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Use them as your anchor point rather than the expensive Imperator Titan.
Yep. 100%. Okay. Well, look.
Okay. It's time.
Thank you very much.
Hold on. Start that bit again. Go.
Thank you very much for the game. It's been great fun, and I'm looking forward to the next game in the Gharadon Reach campaign.
Thank you for playing.
Yeah.
It's time to pack it up now.
Hey.
If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and check back soon for more videos as we carry the Gharadon Reach campaign on. And with that, we'll see you on the battlefield.